Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. You're watching our Raiders post-game reaction show after Las Vegas loses 13-10 against the Steelers. I want to say that I'm surprised, but unfortunately, I'm not. We know the Raiders, when they have a lead going into halftime, it's usually not a good thing. The offense played terrible in the second half. You didn't score a single point in the second half. Foster Moreau deserved to be benched. Foster killed you in the third quarter. The interception was on him. He had a bad face mask penalty against him. Foster was probably, I think, one of the biggest reasons why the Raiders lost this game. Now, a lot of people are going to point the finger at Derek Carr, and I get it. Derek's the easy guy to point the finger at. Personally, I think the other pick, that one was on Hunter Renfrow. The third pick was about as bad as it gets. And when you have a quarterback that you've just stuck by for so long, when you miss a wide open Hunter Renfrow that should be a 40-yard gain and you miss it, it turns into an interception when the game matters the most. When you got 3 timeouts left, it's bad. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this one time. Derek, thank you so much for everything you've done for Raider Nation. But there is a time where you got to honestly start thinking about, is it time to bench Derek and put in Jarrett Stidham? Not because Jarrett Stidham gives you a better chance to win the football game, but because if Derek Carr gets injured, you got to pay him for next year. And if you know as a team that you're not going to keep DC, it's time to move on. I'm sorry, it's time to move on from Derek Carr. So here's my question to the nation. Is this Derek Carr's final season with the Raiders? Y for yes or N for no? Is it the fair question? No. Is it the right question? Yes. Do I think Derek Carr is the main problem for the Raiders? No, I do not. But do I think he's the solution for this team? No, I do not. I believe Josh McDaniels is going to do what he feels is best for this Raiders team. And unfortunately, Derek Carr is not the answer to that. So I'm going to type my Y for yes. The Raiders are out of the playoffs at 6-9. Derek, again, thank you for everything you've done for this organization. I can't wait to see, though, who's going to be the next quarterback for the Silver and Black. Let's go to Ronald Romo. Carr can only score 1 touchdown a game. And, I think I'm more upset the fact that McDaniels deserves a lot of blame for this one. I mean, look at the first drive that the Raiders have. The very, very first drive in this game, the Raiders are physical. It's like a 14-yard drive for a touchdown. And you don't do anything the rest of the game. You try to get pass happy in the second half, which is weird because usually the Raiders never pass the football in the second half. It shows McDaniels' lack of awareness. He sucks as a head coach. I don't need to tell you all that. You probably already know at this point. Let's go to Dennis. I'm taking a shot of Firewall. Everything you do, how are you still standing? I eat almost a pizza, sometimes 2 pizzas before I do this show. I mean, I'm really drunk right now. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm pretty turned up. And when I go to the bathroom, sometimes I don't just pee. Let's go to Robert. Mitch, Merry Christmas from Rob in Funky Frisco. Give a shout out to my bro, Kesey, a real one in Pittsburgh. And Raiders! Now, I'm going to be back next week. I know the Raiders are out of the playoffs. This season's over. But you play the 49ers next week. I don't give a shit. I'm going to come out in full force. I don't want to lose to the Niners. They're the team I hate the most. Let's go to Project. The amount of leads being blown is coaching. I mean, it is on coaching. The coach always deserves blame, right? I mean, the Raiders have blown, 6 leads now when you've had something going into the second half. It's just what it is. McDaniels is never going to be a good head coach. I hate to break it to everyone out there, but also on top of that, the offense deserves blame too. There was bad penalties that happened. Foster Moreau deserves a lot of blame. But your quarterback, I'm not saying that Derek played terrible, but when you want your quarterback to step up is that final drive. And Hunter Renfrow's wide open, and it's another overthrow. Again, Derek's not the problem, but he's not the solution. This will be Derek Carr's final season as the Raiders quarterback. The sooner you all get that through your head, you're going to sleep a lot better at night. And it sucks for a lot of people, but that's just the God-honest truth. That's just the God-honest truth. Now, tonight's show is presented by Rocket Money. If you can't get a Raiders victory, you might as well save some money and be a little bit smarter with the way that you spend it. Go to rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. The app shows you all your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even still find subscriptions you didn't even know you were paying for. You even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. Seriously, it can save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. I'm obviously a frustrated human being right now, and I'm frustrated because this is a game that the Raiders could have won. There's just so many missed opportunities It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how many missed opportunities there were. And if you need to vent, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat will get you up on screen. Let's go to bad coaching from Daryl thanks to Foster. I mean, Foster was bad. You want to put the biggest blame on tonight's game? I think Foster Moreau might be up there as the biggest person to blame for tonight's loss. And then I'm probably going to put the blame on, Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr. I mean, you have to. Let's go to Luke. You can't have a worse second half than that. I don't disagree. That might have been the worst offensive second half I've seen by this team. I mean, think about this. Offensive drives after the field goal that made it 10-3 for the Raiders. You ready? 1 play, 0 yards, interception. 5 plays, 15 yards, interception. 6 plays, -3 yards, a punt. 5 plays, 13 yards, punt. 3 plays, 5 yards, punt. 2 plays, 0 yards, and interception. It's been a wasted season, man. It sucks because there were such high expectations. I mean, I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. The longer you keep McDaniels, the more you're just going to kick yourself in the ass, man. What up, Wild One? RIP, better luck next year. I mean, we'll be back next year. I know the nation never gives up. I know I don't give up. I know people on Mount Rushmore don't give up. I'm obviously mad, but I told myself I wouldn't get as upset as what I usually do because then I usually carry that home, and I'm done carrying home the madness to home. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let's go to Goka's Pride. What a rigged game. All right, I'm not even going to look at this. Thanks for the super chat. It's not a rigged game. So anybody that thinks that this is a rigged game, I'm sorry. I'm glad that you sent in your super chat. I'm glad that you want to have your voice heard, but I'm going to say this the nicest way possible. It's just a dumb thing to say. If you love the Raiders, subscribe for more free videos. The link is below. I say it's a dumb super chat because the Raiders had all the opportunities in the world to win this game. If you think that's a rigged game, I'm sorry. You're going to have a tough time in life, my brother. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. I'm going to be working tomorrow for Christmas for an overreaction show, and unfortunately, that's what we got to do. Mr. Bagoat, should we bench Carr for the season? Yes. And it's not because I think Jarrett Stidham's a better quarterback. I don't. It's, for me, Derek Carr's time as a Raider is over. And when you look at Derek Carr's contract, if, God forbid, if Derek gets hurt in week 17 or week 18, then you have to pay him next season. Not only do you have to pay him next season, you also then are on the books for like $7.5 million in 2024. The season's over. Derek's not going to be your quarterback anymore. So for that, I'm not going to risk it. I've seen the Derek Carr in the Josh McDaniels offense. If you're Mark Davis and you've already committed to Josh McDaniels over Derek Carr, you're just wasting your time and you're putting more money on the line. So yeah, I mean, it is. And I hate saying it because I don't think the Raiders are better by benching Derek Carr, but for the longevity, which apparently the Raiders care more about their longevity with Josh McDaniels than they do this season, you're better off longevity benching Derek Carr. I wouldn't do it, but I think that this Raiders team should do it because that's where you're at right now. What's up, Mondo? I'm done with DC. We want Brady. Brady has a better chance of being the Raiders quarterback next season than Derek. Whether you like to hear that or not, that's just the God honest truth. All right, get your red pens out right now. Grade Derek Carr against the Pittsburgh Steelers. A, B, C, D, or F, man. Let me know. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give him a C grade. I don't think the two other picks were on him. I think Derek did a good job early on, but you need your quarterback to perform great late. And Derek was bad late. That sucks. Let's go to Pukenstuck. Our defense is trash. Pukenstuck, this is a trash take. Your defense gave up 13 points. Your defense played great tonight. Your defense played great the last 5 games. I hate to say this to you, but if anybody out there thinks that this defense has played bad, and if anybody's going to put the blame on Patrick Graham, your intelligence level for football is about, well, it's nothing. Let's go to Bully Face. Did Carr just throw the game? I mean, really, how do you make that? I don't think he threw the game. I mean, he knows his contract, right? Like, look at Derek Carr's contract. He's got $110.68 million he can make. If he doesn't, none of that's guaranteed. So, no, I don't think Carr threw the game. Artie, get well, Chugs, and Mitch, happy holidays. I just wanted to say I've been tired of Carr for about 3 years, maybe 4. He doesn't suck. Carr's had to deal with more BS than anybody has ever had to deal with, I think, ever. But to think that Derek's a top 10 quarterback, I mean, I've never said that. I think anybody that's ever told you that Derek's a top 10 quarterback, their football knowledge is definitely lacking. He's an average QB in a league that wins with great quarterback play. And it sucks that after a game like this, we're sitting here talking about Derek because he wasn't really all that bad. There was a lot of missed opportunities, but the quarterback position is the position that most people talk about because it's the easiest position to talk about. Let's go to Toby. Well, Tom Brady actually turned this team around. I don't have an answer for you. I'll say this. As long as Josh McDaniels is your head coach, I don't think the Raiders win anything. I hate Josh McDaniels, and I tell y'all how much I hate using the word hate. But to me, I've seen Josh McDaniels tear down a Broncos team, bail out on multiple families in Indianapolis. I've had multiple former Raiders players tell me that McDaniels has no spine, and it's really hard to rally behind a guy that I don't think can be a leader of men, and that's not a secret to anybody that watches the show. All right, so we're going to try to spin this on a little bit of a happier note. It is the holidays. I appreciate everyone who's tuning in and watching the show. I'm mad too, y'all. Believe me, I'm mad. I'm frustrated. I get it. But how about this? If you could give a single Christmas present to any Raiders player, who would it be? I want to know. Maybe you want to give Cole to somebody. How about this? Type present for a player or type Cole if you want to give Cole to somebody else. Let's go to Chugs. Give me Sean Payton and Vic Fangio. That would be a match made in heaven. Unfortunately, I was told by a very good source, Chugs, that Sean Payton is more likely to coach the Chargers than the Raiders. Let's go to Matthew. Mitch, thanks for everything. It's been a terribly tough season, brother. That's a fact. Sadly, another typical Raiders season with a lose and tie. Still Raiders till we die. I bleed silver and black. I'm going to be back on New Year's Eve cheering on the Raiders to take down the Niners because honestly, at this point, the amount of bragging rights that I can get if the Raiders beat the Niners is, at this point, all I can ask for, right? I mean, like that's all you can ask for. I'm going to be back next week when the Raiders take down the Niners. Let's go to Allen. After that pick, let's move on. Easily could have hit him in the chest and decides to overthrow. I don't think he decided to overthrow. I just think it's the lack of talent by Carr. Thanks for everything, sir, but you're done. I mean, you do. You got to say thank you to Derek. He's done a lot of great things for this organization. It's time to move on. Mark. Oh, well, look to the future. There's going to be a lot of look into the future, Mark. I also just realized, Mark, this is a big-time super chat, and at this point in the show, every 50, let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you to everyone who tuned into our Raiders show tonight. I wish that there would have been a different outcome, obviously, but you know what? A Raiders team led by Josh McDaniels is just going to disappoint you. The sooner we get that through our heads, the sooner we can be happier with our lives. I'll say this, happy holidays. I love y'all. Enjoy the time with your family. Hopefully you guys have an amazing time with your families. I wish I could be with mine, no doubt about it. Cheers to the nation. Y'all are the best fans in all sports, and I love you from the bottom of my heart.